I'm not over that intro
Banger.
yet. That's awesome. Well, welcome to the KSR Happy Hour presented by Country Boy Brewing. I'm Tyler Thompson. Today I'm joined by the basketball guys. We got Jack and we got Zach, and they have a very big job this week. So I was on vacation from Sunday night until last night, and I thought I was taking vacation at like a slowish time, but oh no, lots of news broke, especially yesterday. So I've got these two guys to help me out, and we're going to do it while they drink some Country Boy brew because my fridge is still empty. So let's see. We've still got what? Country Light in Jack's hand.
Just the OG Cougar Bait. Here, I'll give you a
Cougar
little crack.
Bait.
I almost dumped this whole thing on me. That would have been a really entertaining start to this podcast.
One.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So,
there we go.
Crisp.
We're good.
I mean, you only
I had
got
about 7 of these at Kroger Field last Saturday. Fun.
Yeah.
Good time.
Did you enjoy your tailgating before the so exciting Ole Miss game?
Yeah, we went to Maggie Davis's tailgate, actually. So she was kind enough to invite us, and they had plenty of food and everything, and they're all super nice and all that. So it's nice. The weather was great, too. So we walked from my place to Kroger Field. It's like a 25-minute walk, but after a few beers, it's fine. So we really enjoyed our little tailgate situation. We might do it a little bit more again this Saturday as well. It's going to be hotter, but it's shaping up to be a good tailgate-looking day. So
90 degrees or something on Saturday. What is this?
The false fall, whatever, fake fall, false fall. It was
false
like a
fall.
2-week span, and it's gone now. It's summer again, middle of September.
Well, you'll need your Country Lights. Only 95 calories, 1.8 carbs. It's the perfect summertime brew. They sound very crushable. So that sounds
You will see me crush one or two over the course of this hour or so.
Awesome.
Happily hour. Yeah.
Happily hour, the KSR Happily Hour.
Happily drinking them during the happy hour.
Well, yeah, as I said, I was on vacation. I won't bore you all with pictures from my girls' trip to Nantucket, but I did want to share a couple of my trip up there, Stephen, if you have them ready. So I flew from Nashville to Boston, and then I flew from Boston to Nantucket on Cape Air, which I don't know if you're familiar with Cape Air. Tiny little airplane. So it literally seats 8 people, I think, and 2 of those are the pilot.
Oh, my goodness.
And you walk up and you check in, and they ask for your body weight, which is, not the greatest question to ask a woman. Yeah, so this is us landing in Nantucket, and that's literally where I was sitting, right behind the pilots.
So if your intrusive thoughts got too much of you could have easily jumped right in there and started pulling some levers and everything.
I really could have. I could have reached it. Like it was wild. They had like the flight manuals on the floor right in front of my feet. It was, so here's us getting up. It's a tiny little plane. And that little part near the nose is where they put our bags. And it was quite an adventure. So have either of you ever flown in a plane that small?
Not like that, no. I don't. Not that I can think of, at least. I mean, does it go very high? Was it a long flight? I can't imagine you're in that thing. It
was like a 45-minute flight, and no, it doesn't go very high. So it was dark out, but you could tell we were following the coastline because you could see the lights the entire way. So in one way, it was kind of nice because it doesn't feel as scary because you're not going as high, but also you're in a tiny, teeny, little plane that I swear the pilots were 20 years old, maybe. They both looked like fresh out of, I don't even want to say flight school because they looked like they were out of high school. So, but we got there safely. All was good. I was supposed to fly on that little plane yesterday, but it got delayed. So I was on a normal big plane leaving Nantucket. And go ahead, Jack.
You had me beat because I flew to Crooked Island in the Bahamas on a similar plane, but slightly bigger, because I thought when I went on mine that it was by far the smallest plane you could get anywhere in, outside of like a biplane or like something that you're,
the first one from the Wright brothers.
Wright brothers, Amelia Earhart, whatever. I thought that I was like, dude, I can't believe anybody would do something this, crazy, because it was the flight. You fly into Nassau, and then that flight takes you. It's a small. I mean, it even had propellers on the side. And I thought at that time, same thing with the weight distribution. Okay, you're going to sit right there in row 4. You sit in row 8, and that should be good. And you're like, I don't know if I love the sound of "should be good," but I think you riding in the cockpit of that. I don't think that's the. I think you got me beat. I don't know if I'll ever be on a plane that small.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to be that close up there, honestly.
It's an experience. The only other time I've flown in a plane like that was actually to Athens, Georgia. So I went to cover a UK game in Athens. And the only reason I took this plane is there's this airline called Alaska Airlines. And they fly from Nashville to Athens, Georgia in a plane about that big. And it's dirt cheap. Like I think it was like $80 ticket or something. I don't even know why that route exists.
That's a little far from Alaska.
Yeah, it's weird. It's some weird loophole. I don't know. If we have any pilots in the chat, let us know.
Yeah.
But and then like they literally, the pilot of that, it was the same kind of setup, and they would turn around and they had like snacks. They had like goldfish, and they're like, "Hey, you want some snacks? You want some goldfish?" And I'm like,
eyes on the sky, bud. Turn around.
Do you have Wi-Fi in those planes? Is there a little TV in the back of your?
You're not high enough. You're still connected to the cell tower, so you're just a little bit above.
Don't even need airplane mode.
You don't need Wi-Fi.
I know. So that was crazy. And then on the way back yesterday, I actually flew through Newark. And yesterday, today is 9/11, and so last night you could see the New York skyline. They had the towers of light, the tributes of light, which was very cool to see. And it was really nice because I was with my sister, and she actually lived in New York during 9/11. She lived just a few blocks from the World Trade Center, and she worked with the design firm that designed those like tributes of light, the pillars of light. So it was kind of cool to have that moment with her and for her to see like a project that she worked on. Obviously 9/11 affected her a lot, and she was able to give back with that project. And then to see it 24 years later, with her was kind of neat. So, just had to recognize 9/11. I know it's not exactly a fun topic, but we never forget here. And before we jump into like fun and, silly Kentucky stuff. Everybody around this time of year likes to talk about where were you when you heard the news. I was a senior at Danville High School. I was in AP Calculus, or actually walking to AP Calculus when I heard the news. And thankfully, our AP Calculus teacher let us watch the news because the rest of the teachers at our high school, at Danville High School, were told not to turn the TVs on because they thought the news would upset us. So, but a lot of the teachers were like, screw that. This is news. This is history.
It's a very important moment.
Yeah. And thankfully I was able to get in touch with my sister pretty quickly to find out she was okay. But just a very, very scary day. I'm sure you guys will make me feel very old and tell me that you were in preschool or elementary school when you heard the news. Jack, I'll let you go. So you're the baby.
Yeah, I was in preschool. I was, so
Oh
4 years. I was 4 years old when that happened. Unfortunately, I guess fortunately because I didn't have a lot of the traumatic day of stuff. But it was a lot of like, when you're growing up, in the couple of years after that it's so fresh and so new, and they're trying to explain such a tragedy and a traumatic event for so many people on the outside, trying to like, how do you kidify something like that? And I actually remember my first grade teacher on September 11th, kind of rolling out the old, TV on the rolly card and, trying to like explain to us as first graders, like the magnitude and like what the world experienced that day. So it really was just kind of a, weird, getting more of the feeling of it in the years afterward and kind of understanding the magnitude all these years later. So didn't get the in real time feeling that you did and so many others, but definitely kind of learned the magnitude as the years went on.
Zach, what about you?
Yeah, I was 6 years old, so I was in first grade. Mrs. Grisanti, I think, was my teacher at the time. I don't remember actually anything about that day, to be honest with you. I kind of remember coming home and my parents telling me about it, like I knew what was going on and everything. The only time that they might have shown it on TV. The only time they ever showed TV I went to a Catholic grade school. The only time they rolled a TV out was when there was a new pope, which I think only happened maybe once, maybe twice when I was there. And SEC tournament games when Kentucky was playing. Those are the only two times the TV ever came on. So I'm sure it came on for that, but I don't really remember. Like I said, first grade. I do remember coming home, though, and my mom kind of explaining that for some reason kind of rings a bell. But yeah, I was a baby. Jack and I were babies.
I know. See, all generations here on the KSR Happy Hour. We've got Grant's Gaming in the chat. He was in 4th grade. So
shout out youngins.
Yeah, shout out to the youngins. Yeah, it is so wild to me that it was 24 years ago, because it just in many ways feels like yesterday. And well, there's no easy segue from that, but we're thinking of all the families affected. And speaking of another youngin, we've got Cutter Boley expected to be
good segue.
I didn't know that was going to go, but
he's got a baby face, so it
works. We'll take it.
6'5", he's got a baby face.
He looks like he could be in 4th grade by judging by that face. So
was he alive during 9/11?
Oh no, God, that'll really make us feel
no way.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Well, when I was traveling home yesterday, I did see the news as broken by Zack Geoghegan and Nick Roush that Cutter Boley expected to be Kentucky's starting quarterback versus Eastern Michigan. Zach, since I was gone, you guys got to fill me in on what happened, and there's no better source, I feel like, than you. So kind of tell me how this scoop unfolded as someone close to Cutter and those around him, I guess.
Well, I guess it kind of felt like it was trending that way already, just from the comments that have been made on like Monday and Tuesday from Stoops in particular, who was kind of like very adamant about Cutter playing and all that. And then you've got Bush kind of being, I think I've listened to 11 Personnel, and Nick and Adam were kind of saying it was the most kind of aggressive. I don't even know if aggressive is the right word, but like loud, I guess, was the most they ever saw at Bush Hamden. And he was, talking about Cutter as well, trying to get him out there. And then I hear, or someone actually, I forget, I should probably look up that person's name, our KS Board member who figured it out, but someone on KS Board was listening to Alan Cutler's show, and I guess Cutter's dad, Scott, had gone on the show and was kind of implying, I guess, that Cutter was going to be the starting quarterback. So once I got wind of that, fire off some text to a couple people, and then I got some confirmation for it, so I go over to Nick Roush, the main football guy. I'm like, hey, can you figure this out too? And then you have Stoops on his teleconference, not saying that Cutter's going to be the guy, but also kind of reiterating what he was saying on Monday, that that Cutter's been getting first team reps and all that stuff. So the dots started to come together pretty quickly, and then Nick and I kind of both got confirmation together within like an hour or something like that. So I guess UK hasn't officially said it, or Stoops hasn't officially come out and said it, but I guess maybe a gamesmanship thing. I think the kind of the point going around is if you need some gamesmanship against Eastern Michigan, the team that just lost to Long Island University, you're probably in a bad spot anyway. So I don't know why the whole back and forth with the Calzada and Boley thing was weird, especially because it seems like Stoops said that he wasn't practicing, and then Bush Hammond said he was practicing, and it's like, well, what is it? What's kind of the messaging going on here? But it just felt inevitable once Zach went down that, okay, it's, even if he ends up being healthy, which I think as far as I know, I think he's going to be healthy enough to play. I think this is just a matter of, it's just kind of time to turn the reins over and give it to the guy that they have claimed is going to be the face of the program down the road. So you might as well turn him loose now. It would have been nice if he had already gotten those first 2 games under his belt, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I'm sure Cutter probably feels the same way, but better late than never. You've got a really good tune-up game against Eastern Michigan. Then you've got your bye week, and then you go into that just hellhole of those 6 straight SEC games, and 5 of those teams are now ranked. The one that's not ranked is actually the Florida team that is right there with Kentucky at the very bottom of the power rankings, and I think they were started 11th in the country or something. So, and who knows, Florida could be, I think they're the last game on that 6-game stretch too. So we'll see how they're playing by then. But yeah, it's looking more and more like, at least from the news that Nick and I have gotten, that Cutter's going to be the guy. We'll see whenever Stoops officially announces it. I'm sure it might be semi-soon, or it might be whenever the game starts on 7:30. Yeah, there goes Guda barking in the back.
Remy's jealous.
So, so it came together very quickly. But I'm very excited to see Cutter play. We kind of got a little bit of a taste of it last year when he was thrown into some less than favorable situations, I think is probably the nicest way to put it, because he was, really, you talk about baptized by fire, like he was thrown to the wolves there initially and handled it moderately well, at least in the Texas game. Louisville kind of struggled a little bit. So I'm very excited to see it. I know the offseason talk has been, especially from Stoops and Hampton over the last couple weeks before the season started, with that he is improved. He's gained all this weight or muscle. His his head is really solidly on his shoulders right now. He just sees the game well, and I think he said on Tuesday when he was talking with the media, he said, when I get out there, I'm just going to rip the ball. And I think that's what Kentucky fans want to hear.
Well,
you
exactly. Yeah.
Run the ball 40 times with two workhorses that you've got there in Dowdell and McGowan, and then let Cutter rip the ball, downfield and try and get some explosive plays. And he's got the balls to do it, to kind of be a little grotesque about it. But yeah, so I'm very excited to see him play. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And Eastern Michigan's really, really bad, it seems. So we'll see how it goes.
I was looking at their schedule. So they lost their opener to Texas State 52-27. Lost the second game to Long Island 28-23. So a close one, a thriller.
Didn't know Long Island had a football team, to be honest.
Me neither. But I think you're right in some ways. Hopefully Calzada's injury isn't severe. It doesn't seem like it is.
Yeah.
But it may have kind of come at the right time because it's clear things weren't really working. I mean, Calzada looked a little better against Ole Miss, but the communication wasn't there. He didn't really show the poise you would expect from a seventh-year quarterback. It just wasn't clicking. And so if this is, this minor injury is kind of I don't want to say the excuse that the staff needs, but the opportunity that Boley can have, maybe now is the time. And you're right, like Eastern Michigan's not a great team. He should be able to go out and throw for however many yards. The running game can kind of assert itself. You can get some momentum rolling. But I guess my question, Jack, maybe for you is, will this raise the excitement in the fan base enough to where there's not a really disappointing crowd at Kroger Field on Saturday night? I mean, Kentucky fans were frustrated against Ole Miss. 7:30 kickoff on Saturday night. Are they going to show up more just to see Cutter Boley kind of take over than they would otherwise?
Maybe, but I don't. This is probably going to be the worst crowd we see at Kroger Field all year long. Just circumstances, the time and the opponent and coming off the disappointing Ole Miss loss is just kind of a bad storm, if you will, of just kind of creating a less than a desirable crowd. But yeah, I think if you want to salvage this season in any shape or form, I think, Zack Geoghegan was brought in to be the floor raiser, the guy that you could trust to not screw up, to be hey, he may not be the most talented, he may be kind of injury prone and have, there's a reason why he's in his 7th year of college football and not in the pros or not, doing insurance or whatever. There's a reason why he is in that specific role and was waiting for somebody to call him to bring him in. Is because he's going to do some okay things, but not going to do anything to necessarily elevate you. And I understand why Stoops would want to go in that direction, because this was a year of like, hey, this can't be a year where you win 2 games. It's like, this is a make or break season, so we got to have a floor raiser. But then when you see the first 2 games and see he's making the same mistakes that a redshirt freshman would be making, then why are we not putting your chips in on the future and focusing on the guy who is meant to be the long-term future face of this program? So I think we are at a fork in the road right now where you could say, okay, well, yeah, just because this guy is older does not necessarily make him mentally mature, and it's translating anyway onto the actual football field and translating to wins. So why not save, as you said, Tyler, the fan base and the excitement for the future? Because Stoops needs a whole heck of a lot of that right now. So yeah, I think now it's probably if we're going to be making a decision this soon, it probably should have just been done for week 1 and cut your losses. But better late than never, and it's a good time with a crappy opponent. The bye week coming up, and then we have, as Zach said, the hellhole of an SEC schedule coming up.
God,
so got to make it happen. Got to pivot to the future and hope that Cutter's your guy.
Well, if I can chime in real quick, just
absolutely.
That point about the crowd in the stadium, it would probably make sense from, if you're trying to sell more tickets, to announce on, when on Monday or Tuesday or whenever it's decided that Cutter Boley is going to be the quarterback, maybe make that known. That way everyone can, it can be a widely known thing, and you can maybe drum up some excitement for, hey, the 4-star homegrown kid is going to make his season debut. Like, it's against a bad team, he should play really well. Like, come out and play, or come out and support and all that. So maybe that would have helped a little bit, but I don't, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes and all that. So
unorganized and chaotic, just like the Kentucky offense.
They don't really like to promote their own team, it seems, over the last several months. So it's not too shocking, I guess. But
speaking of which, Josh Allen is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this weekend. UK football has not even acknowledged his existence. That sucks, Like, we should be celebrating Josh freaking Allen making his return to Lexington, should we not? I think so.
I mean, great segue, because that was on my list. It's like it slipped my mind. I mean, I had the excuse of being out of town, but you know what? UK doesn't have the excuse, because they should be promoting the heck out of this. It's Hall of Fame weekend. You've got 6 former Cats are going into the UK Athletics Hall of Fame, as mentioned. Josh Hines Allen, Karl Anthony Towns, and the only way we were kind of reminded of that is because the basketball team sent out a thing about Karl getting into the Hall of Fame. So shout out to Kentucky men's basketball Twitter. They're on it. The rest of the class is Abby Cheek-Ramsey, softball, women's basketball star Michaela Epps, baseball and men's basketball player Doug Flynn, and women's tennis Sonia Hahn. So they will be inducted. There are a bunch of events this weekend. There's a dinner tomorrow night, which is when I think the official induction happens, and there's a ceremony and all that. And we'll actually be there. Jack will be there with Steven to kind of chat with the guys and catch up with them. And then they'll be recognized at halftime on Saturday. So excited for them. We, knowing how well Josh Hines Allen is playing in the NFL right now, like Jack said, promote the heck out of it. He was just at Kroger Field 2 weeks ago for the opener versus Toledo. Like, clearly he loves coming back. So I'm excited for those guys and, men and women to get their shine. Really excited for Michaela Epps. That's very well deserved. She was an integral player for the women's basketball program. Same thing with Abby Cheek-Ramsey. So I don't know if Sonia Hans or Doug Flynn as well.
Yeah, I think Abby Cheek has the all-time home runs record for Kentucky, maybe.
She was a dog.
Right.
Yeah, she was a dog.
She was really good. She's not too far removed either, so she might be kind of like one of the younger ones getting into the Hall of Fame among them.
Yeah, I feel like I was just writing about her the other day, but
too long ago, 5 years maybe.
So let's get into Champions Blue, who I'm sure is very proud of the UK Athletics Hall of Fame class. I got a text on Monday about a big announcement coming from Champions Blue, which I had to delegate to the guys back in Lexington and Louisville. It was actually very big news, it turned out. So Kentucky men's basketball is getting a practice facility. Not only that, it's going to be a part of the Kroger Field Entertainment Complex. Like, Jack, you were at this meeting. Kind of explain that, because I'm very happy that Mark Pope is getting the practice facility that John Calipari always wanted. But it'll be a big step for the program forward. It's kind of needed, but it's also kind of strange to me that it's so far away from the lodge. I mean, I guess there's only so much space around campus right now. But walk us through that meeting and the big takeaways.
Yeah, and I think Mitch did a good job talking to the media afterward about, the first question is obviously the drama behind it. So, why now? Why did you feel a year into Mark Pope's tenure that he was deserving of a practice gym, but when Coach Cal begged for it that he didn't, and I think Mitch wanted to kind of cut that out and say, hey, I get where you're coming from, but this is a part of a kind of a massive plan that we have for campus, where, as you said, that entertainment district, almost like creating like a village, if you will, on campus of, all these bars and restaurants and food and, food trucks and shops and, all these, kind of state-of-the-art things across campus where, he was talking like, yes, right now it's just kind of an idea of an idea. We're not even remotely close to, what it's going to cost, how big it's going to be, how long it's going to take, all of those things. That's what the next 4 to 6 months are for. They're going to, kind of getting into the design and pre-planning phases of all of those things, but they want to do it. They feel they have a good connection with UK healthcare to have the money to do something pretty lucrative. And if you look at Tennessee, they kind of have something similar brewing right now. Odds are good that the competitive side of UK athletics is going to want to top that, if you will, and that's already a pretty incredible thing that Tennessee's doing. So I would look at that as kind of the argument, but they threw out that Atlanta Hawks facility is one, but really the one that kind of keeps catching my eye is Zach's Cleveland Cavaliers have a $3.5 billion sprawling over 30 acres in Cleveland that it's a part, the practice gym is a part of like parks and, you know, in this massive kind of big picture Cleveland thing. And talking to Mitch, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Probably it's not gonna be $3.5 billion, but something to that level of like, hey, we're talking something big. We're not just focused on Mark Pope getting a practice gym. We're talking about a University of Kentucky landscape altering addition that also includes a practice gym. So it sounds like it's going to be very exciting, but it's just a concept of a plan, if you will, right now. There is no actual
there's no timeline. There's
for
no
anything.
This is the floor plan.
It sounds all good right now, but
Sure.
until we get the returns on the drawings and renderings and all that stuff, it's just excitement that we can talk about.
Well, and I'd also be interested if during all these talks and, you know, brainstorming sessions, if they're like, what if we just put a dorm in there too and make it the men's basketball dorm so you don't lose that whole, the dorm is right next to the practice facility, which kind of as the years went on was the only bragging right, you know, call for the lodge and the practice facility as both got older. So I don't know. We'll see. Like you said, it could be 5 years, could be 10 years, probably closer to 10, but at least the ball is sort of moving on thinking about it. So let's see. He also had some comments about footballs, most of which we've heard before, but he kind of did, you know, suggest that he's taking Mark Stoops' struggles maybe a little more seriously. Is that the vibe that you all got? That it's not just a 1 year blip anymore. It's, oh yeah, we're actually keeping a really close eye on it.
Yeah, the vibe I got with it was that he trusts Stoops, that he believes in him, but like he doesn't want to. Yeah, I think he was just much more careful than the 1 year blip thing, saying like, hey, he hasn't forgotten how to win football games, but we got to get back to doing what we're doing, while also kind of adding in the 9-game SEC factor and how that's going to kind of change what our expectations should be, what every SEC program's expectations are going to be moving forward. Adding in the Power 4 school, you know, mandatory game on the schedule as well, where you're only going to be able to add 2 cupcake games every single year moving forward, no matter what. Also factoring in that, you know, there are going to be years that you have 5 true road games, you know, in conference play. Imagine going to LSU and Alabama and Georgia and kind of taking on those challenges. So saying like, hey, we need to not suck, like, but also like, hey, we're not just doing this to the thing that kind of ties into the other, you know, entertainment district and all that stuff, saying that we're not just doing this to make enough money to pay for everything else. Like we're doing this to win football games. I know there's kind of this perception right now that I don't care about winning personally, but I do, and it's serious, and we got to get back to, you know, why you became the winningest coach in the history of Kentucky football. So there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but definitely kind of focusing on, hey, we got to get back to these winning ways that we're not doing right now.
So we have a motivated Stoops. Do we now have a motivated Mitch? Maybe. I mean,
grateful to be motivated, Mitch.
Gratefully motivated.
There we go.
Trying to think of another M word for the alliteration. What's another?
Massively motivated Mitch.
Sure.
I was gonna say like Mary Mitch.
Yeah.
Mary Mitch. Yeah. Well,
he doesn't smile very often, so.
Top button Mitch.
Yeah.
Motivated Mitch. Well, one person I'm especially grateful for these days is Mark Pope, and it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Mark Pope, if you're watching. And Alvin Brooks III. It's his birthday too. Like, that's crazy that they share
both
the same birthday.
And on 9/11, just a very fascinating
odd coincidence. Yeah.
Not exactly throwing a party on that day.
Yeah.
So Pope is turning 53. I saw that. Do we know how old AB3 is?
45.
All right.
Give me 2 seconds. 46 today.
All right. Well, congratulations and happy birthday to them. Maybe for their birthdays, they'll get a commitment. I don't know. We've got some recruiting questions in the chat. That was my segue to that. Otis Hudson said, I heard Caleb Holt and Maximo Adams had great visits last weekend. And tomorrow, Arifon, did we ever figure out if it's Diane? I'm just going to say Diane.
Diane is probably the
Diane, but hey, I like Diane too.
Yeah.
He'll be visiting this weekend, and we hope that Pope lands him too. Yeah, Jack, any intel on how those visits went? I've been unplugged. I did see that Caleb Holt's dad spoke to Jacob Polachek for a KSR Plus piece that is, a must read. So tell us about it.
I've heard, again, every official visit in the history of official visits outside of like 2 have gone unbelievably well. Just, oh man, we love this, we love that, we love the vibe, we love that. So I do think it's interesting that the feedback coming back from Caleb Holt's visit was more like, yeah, it went really well. Not like, oh man, that was a needle mover. I think, total game changer. So maybe not as, incredible as it could have gone, but still a really darn good visit. Kentucky's still right there in the thick of things for Caleb. Maximo, I kind of just get the vibe with him. He's his brother played for Pope at BYU, that he's kind of maybe a little bit further down on the priority list, and like the kid, think that he can be a fit, but not going to sacrifice a Tyron Stokes to take his commitment today. That's kind of hey, if we strike out here and a couple of these other pieces don't work in our favor, then let's make a serious move on him. So I think that they're in a good standing there, but still kind of TBD on both of those guys in terms of, anything imminent. Diane, however we want to call it. I'm going with Diane.
Please go with Diane, because I know you know better than I do. So.
He's visiting this weekend, kind of in a grouping of bigs that, Josh Irving and a couple others that trying to figure out price. I don't want to say price, but like we're kind of in that like bang over buck value kind of process with the bigs. And, Pope has done a really good job of casting just an unbelievably wide net and kind of narrowing to get to a point where it's like, okay, do we pick this guy or this guy? And I think Diane is definitely in that. Do we pick him over this guy or whatever? But so we'll see how it goes. I don't think Kentucky's a leader for him. I think there are a couple others that are definitely more so in the mix, but Kentucky can make a move if they want to, and this weekend will definitely go a long way in deciding that.
Zach, you had a post yesterday about, it looks like the staff is back on the trail. They checked on Caleb Holt right after he was in Lexington. So who else are they looking? Bruce Branch III, Nasir Anderson. Yeah, you take it away.
And I believe they also went and saw Mikhail McLean went and saw Deron Rippey yesterday.
Ron.
And then Mark Pope went to see Anthony Thompson as well. So yeah, they've been out recruiting a bunch. The Holt stuff is kind of interesting because it definitely feels like there's very conflicting reports from, I guess who kind of are the leaders and everything. I think he just scheduled a Providence official visit is that later? I think that's this month, Jack. I don't know if you know off the top of your head. But he moved.
I don't think that one will matter.
Yeah, but it's weird that he's scheduling more and more official visits. Moved up his Alabama one, still has his Auburn one. It always felt like it was going to be tough to pull the Alabama kid out from the state of Alabama. But yeah, so yeah, I think Diane. I think he's a guy that I mentioned last week. It just feels like they're maybe trying to move up the ladder maybe a little bit with him. I think Houston is kind of like the proceed. I think even Jamie Shaw logged a prediction for Houston a few months ago and hasn't backed off that yet. So, but yeah, I think Stokes is still kind of the number one priority. And I continue to kind of be of the belief with this class that, or maybe just recruiting in general going forward with high school kids, it's like 2 at the max. Like just get 2 guys you really, really like and go with them. And, I don't know if a center is really what Kentucky should maybe go after, considering, it's hard to see what happens with, Brandon Garrison still has another year. How does he play this year? Does he, want to stick around? Malachi Moreno is obviously someone they want to develop for the future. So, yeah, they're out recruiting. They're working their butts off. So I will give them all the credit in the world for that. And then I guess someone on KSR today said that they saw Mark Pope flying back from France.
What's that about?
I have no idea. That might have been to go, see someone he knows or something like that. I don't know if there's any major French 5 stars over there that are just kind of hiding in the that we don't really know about. So, but yeah, they're working their butts off. I would not be surprised if both Pope and Brooks spent their birthdays on the trail. So,
well, maybe Pope going to France was like an early birthday celebration.
Yeah,
who knows? I mean,
just a quick day over, hang out.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I had another random question. So Pope and Brooks are celebrating their birthdays, obviously. what was your favorite birthday growing up? Like whether it be a party, a gift, experience. I can start with mine to give you all some time to think. Back when, I forget what age I was turning, but back when the UK basketball museum was a thing, like when it was next to Rep Arena, it was kind of part of those shops back when they were still there. My dad took me there, and I think I was like 11 or 12, I don't remember, but it was awesome and it was a lot of fun. But then we went to Joe's Crab Shack, and all of my friends were waiting there for a surprise party. I had no idea. And you all are too young to remember what a big deal it was when Joe's Crab Shack came to Lexington. It was like
I remember going there. Definitely.
Yeah, this giant, like, magical thing on Nicholasville Road. And it had like the big lights and the sign, and it was like cool and funky looking. And so all my friends were there waiting for me. So that was a lot of fun. So my UK basketball Joe Crab Shack moment was a good one. So what about you guys? Any pop up immediately?
Jack, you got one?
I had a golden birthday. I would turn 10 on July 7th, 2007. And I thought that was a really cool, just like, I felt like just the king of the world. I think I was 5th grade, fifth, 6th grade, something like that. I just was like, man, how cool is it that, the world revolves around me today on July 7th, 2007, knowing that nobody really cares, but I really got a kick out of that. And then just this past birthday was a really cool one, being up in Canada and caught fish and did just a bunch of cool stuff, honor my grandmother while I was up there. And it's just, kind of a very, very special, nostalgic, sentimental thing for me being up there. So whenever people ask like, hey, what's your favorite birthday or whatever, I never really had a go-to answer, but after this past year, I definitely have one now. So those are the two that definitely stick out.
That's a great answer.
I feel like I don't remember. Oddly enough, the birthday I probably remember the most over the last however many years is my 21st birthday. So,
I don't remember my 21st birthday. Actually,
I remember to a
parts.
point. There was a part where it kind of cuts off, but I do remember that being really fun. Just kind of what you were saying, Jack. The sentimental stuff is one of those moments where you realize how many friends you have and things like that, and people that really enjoy your presence and being around you. But like this past year, I went to go see my mom out in Virginia. Took my girlfriend Meredith. We hung out there for a few days and just kind of enjoyed ourselves. So, but I'm not a huge big birthday guy. Like I don't think I've ever had
You don't have a birthday week
bash.
Yeah,
no birthday month.
Birthday month.
It's actually, I was talking about someone. Maybe it was a question Drew posed or something on the board the other day, and one of the morning questions was like the worst injury you've ever had or something. I do remember. It was like a week before, I was in middle school. It was a week before my birthday. I was out riding bikes, actually coincidentally, with my buddy David Bovier, former UK football player. We were really good friends.
Humble brag.
Yeah, humble brag. But he's a really good dude. I haven't talked to him in a while. I should probably do that. But we were out riding bikes, and I remember we were turning back to come home. We're probably several miles away from where we were. Turned my bike around, and it, the wheel slid out from under it, and the handle jabbed me right in the rib. And I remember the whole ride home, I was trying not to cry in front of my friend, obviously. I definitely had a cracked rib. And then when I got home, I just started bawling in front of my dad. We went to the doctor immediately. I had a cracked rib, but it was a week before my birthday at Champs Roller Rink.
Oh,
so
nice.
That was the
brutal.
one big birthday bash I had. And I remember the doctor was like, yeah, buddy, you can't skate. So everyone else was skating at my birthday party where I was just kind of
that's why you hate birthday party. That's why birthdays are such a kind of a gray cloud over your head.
Fun enough because I had friends there and everything, and I was 7th grade, so I was just trying to.
You're standing at the air hockey table, just looking out at everybody.
Probably exactly like that. So I do remember that being a big bummer, but that and my 21st birthday. My 21st birthday was just a lot of fun, and then that one, and over the years you just kind of go by at this point.
Tyler, we got to take Zach back to the roller rink. We got to go to KS roller rink. We're gonna go. We're gonna have a party. It's gonna be an extended. Still
over there. I'm pretty sure
it's gonna be an extended Zack Geoghegan birthday party, just for you to make up for 7th grade. I'll buy your skates, bud.
I'll buy you a round of Country Boy just to make you feel better. Because surely
we transition from ices to Country Boys.
Yeah. I'll crack another rib skating if I have a bunch of Country Boys in me.
Be careful with the limbo. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see the other news. We had Jaden Quainton's rehab update that was kind of like confusing. He is doing better, but
No
he's not.
confusing. It's not confusing.
Yeah.
It was falsely reported.
Aha, falsely reported. Well, fill me in on that.
No,
There was a very vague tweet.
There
too.
wasn't anything new to report, and it being presented as news, even though there wasn't an expectation that he was going to be cleared for. And again, I think the non-contact, like if you see with your own two eyes what he's doing, working out right now, he looks pretty darn good. He looks just on pace with exactly where you would want him to be at this stage as we transition into the weeds of fall. So no, Jaden is fine. Everything is fine. There wasn't an update to be had about him, supposed to be at a point of being cleared for contact or non-contact, and he didn't meet that threshold, and now it's a big problem. No, he's fine. Everything is fine. Just look at the video and see for yourself how he's looking. He's running, jumping, doing all these,
I'm surprised he can jump with those extra 40 pounds on his body that he gained.
That's true. That is true. So he's doing great, and I expect him to play sooner rather than later.
Well, that's good news to hear. So Chicken Littles, calm down. Everything is fine. Some shout outs to the chat. Let's see. We've got James H watching. He said, love you guys. We love you too. We also had somebody else. Danny Armstrong. First time watching from Shelbyville. Absolutely love the show. You guys rock.
I'm telling you,
get him on the show, Jack. Go
between Danny and on Sources Say, we get like 3 or 4 people from Shelbyville every single time. Either this town is way too small, or I just happen to live by KS neighbors. I everywhere in my neighborhood, it's all Sources Say / KSR Happy Hour listeners. So we need to do a party. We need to do like a cookout or something here locally. We have so many followers from Shelbyville. We gotta do something about this.
That'd be awesome. Party at Jack's house. Let's do it. Benny can be there. The boys can be there. It'll be great.
I'll host.
Well, the party goes to Danville on Friday night for the KSR Game of the Week. And let me tell you, when I saw the caption of the Facebook graphic that said the KSR Game of the Week is headed to Danville, I got so excited that you all were going to cover my Danville Admirals, who are 3-0 after not winning a game for over 1,000 days. They are the talk of Kentucky high school football.
1,000 days?
They went 1,000 days without winning a game, and they are now 3-0. If you were on my Facebook feed, you would hear all about it. Danville is very excited, but so is Boyle County, as they are hosting undefeated number 5 Highlands. That is the actual KSR Game of the Week. Taking place at Rebel Stadium, 7:30 Friday night. Zach, you will be there. Obvious headlines, Tayden Lorenzen. Oh, we got a cat joining the show. I'm excited.
It's just, I can't get away from the animals ever.
Oh, that is the cutest cat.
Yeah.
So Tayden Lorenzen,
think differently.
Yeah. Son of the late, great Jared Lorenzen, is a junior now, and he does everything, it sounds like, for the Bluebird Tees. Running back, wide receiver, plays some defense, plays kind of Wildcat quarterback on occasion. Yeah, and he won their first game of the year with a 2-point conversion in double overtime against Frederick Douglass. So excited to see Tayden Lorenzen lead Highlands to a win over Boyle County, my arch rival. I'm speaking it into existence as we speak. But seriously, give us a short little preview of the game, and then we'll head out into KS Board Q&A.
Yeah, obviously the Jared Lorenzen, Tayden Lorenzen angle definitely helped our pick for that. And then Boyle County, kind of coming off a shocking loss. I think it was 17-7 to an unranked Lexington Catholic team. I think it was their first regular season loss in like 22 games. So that's over 2 seasons. Yeah, ain't a shame. So yeah, Tayden Lorenzen, he's awesome. I think from some of the clips I've seen, it definitely seems like they do a little bit of a Wildcat situation with him. But yeah, he plays both sides of the field. They have this other kid. His name's Gabe Williams. He plays both sides of the field too, probably more than Tayden does. So they've got a couple of really talented, versatile kids. But I'm very excited to see Tayden. He picked up a Miami, Ohio offer back in the spring. He's been doing some camp visits over the summer. He's only a junior, so still kind of has some time to build his stock. But he's been kind of, like you said, doing it all for them so far. So we're very excited to see him. I'll be out there with Sterling as well. Sterling Homan, our new KSR video intern. And if you've seen the videos he's done on our YouTube the
They're
last
awesome.
2 weeks, like yeah, the one he did this past week when we went to see Matt Ponatoski was really well done. So very excited to see what he does for this one. He's a really talented kid. He's like 20 years old too. So big shout out to him. He's been doing great so far. Yeah, so Highlands took apart Frederick Douglass. They beat Cooper by 14. Then they just smacked Campbell County last week. So they're number 5 in our latest poll right now. Sorry, Tyler, but Danville has not gotten one single rank, like not even a vote yet.
If I was on the panel, it would be all first place votes. So
well, I'm sure that they'll get there if they can, keep staying, get 4-5. I'm sure they'll get a couple that here and there. But as for Boyle County, yeah, they had that upset loss to Lexington Catholic last week. They barely beat Lexington Christian Academy like the week before that. So it might seem like there's maybe some holes in the armor for Justin Haddix, which just hasn't happened over the last 5 years essentially. So. But they've got we could talk about Tatum Lorenz and all we want. The star of the show is Seneca Driver, the 6'7" tight end for Boyle County. He's ranked number 73 in the entire country. Like Kentucky offered him years ago. I think he's up to 35 Division I offers now, and it's from everyone to Alabama, Notre Dame, Ohio State. Like that kid is. I mean, sorry, Kentucky fans. He's too good to play at Kentucky, especially as the current state of the program. So he'll probably end up going elsewhere, but. Very, very talented. He's been playing both sides of the field for them. He leads them in receiving so far. They've got their same quarterback from last year back, Baylor Murphy. They've got a really talented sophomore offensive lineman. He plays both sides. He plays left tackle and then he plays defensive line as well. His name's Christian Bryant. He's got some offers as well. I think Vince Murrow offered him back in January, so I don't know if that offer still holds, but I'm sure it does because he's very talented. So yeah, it should be a great game. It really should. I think the Massey ratings, their little prediction score has Boyle County actually winning. So it should be a really great game, and Boyle County kind of needs a get right situation to put them back on that path to being the powerhouse in their class because they've looked human so far this season. So we're very excited to go out there and see that one. We'll make the quick hour drive out to Danville and soak up all the action and. Hopefully it's a good game. That's all we want when we go to these things. We just want close games. We want something entertaining, something to give the viewers something fun to read about and watch later on. So, but it's going to be fun. I'm excited for it.
Very cool. So we'll be excited to see your coverage. If you're curious, Danville's at Lincoln County this week. So, we'll see if the ads go 4-0. And if so, I'm going to use whatever power I have to get the KSR game of the week at Danville at some point.
You can be an honorary, if they make it to 4-0, we'll let you be an honorary voter for a week. And we can give Danville, and there'll be a little 1 in parentheses.
I was going to say that would be as far as I went with that exercise, but I'll do it. All right, let's hit up some KS Board Q&As before getting out of here. Steven, if you don't have them pulled up, I can just read them. Oh, here we go. All right, let's start with this one. For Love of the Game gave us 3, but we're just going to do 1, and we'll save the others for another show. What moment from a sports movie where at real life would you want to be in the stands for? His is watching Jake Taylor and the boys win the pennant against the Yankees. That's from Major League. I'd be screaming the words to Wild Thing, and it would be amazing. Lots of good ones. I mean, I think Rudy is an easy answer here. I'll go with a sports TV show and say Friday Night Lights when the Mud Bowl episode, when West Dillon won the Mud Bowl. I don't know if you all ever watched that show, but it was like they were going to have the game at a normal stadium, but they couldn't because I forget the thing. It was like the lights weren't working or something, or the field was, I don't know, out of condition. So they just played it in a random field, and it was amazing. And it rained the entire time, and it was the stuff that TV shows are made of. So those are my 2 answers. Zach, what about you? I think
mine is probably going to be, if you're a Kentucky fan, you might not pick this one, but Glory Road, I think would probably be a very fun one to just go and see. Like that was, a very pivotal historical moment in college basketball and kind of beyond that as well. So I think that would have been really cool to see from the stands. I don't know. Actually, it's been probably forever since I've seen them. I couldn't even tell you what happens, to be honest. But or I could choose like Blue Mountain State. Can we choose like a fake TV show?
Yeah.
Like a bad one. Those would probably be fun to watch. Those guys just kind of be ridiculous from afar.
Our friend Jimmy at Kentucky Roadshow Shop has the actual microphone from the Glory Road game.
He does.
Really?
Yeah, we saw that when we did. Yeah,
it's insane.
When you did Sources Say That, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you see
That
it
is
and it's
so
just like,
cool.
I can't believe that I'm seeing
this is
something as
75
massive.
years old.
Yeah, and like one of the most historical moments in pivotal moments in college sports history, just sitting right there in front of us. So
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah,
That shot's crazy though.
Yeah, it's the best. I'm going dodgeball, a true underdog story. I think just being there for that moment of Peter LaFleur taking down White Goodman just would have been an all timer in the treasure chest of money at the end of that. I just think that would have been electric. I don't know.
What other sports movies are there? Like I'm trying to rattle them off in my brain.
Rocky,
Remember the
I mean,
Titans? Rocky would be
Rocky.
cool. Oh, I like
Yeah.
Moneyball. Kind of being behind the scenes of
Moneyball.
of that run would be pretty cool.
Rookie of the
Tooth
year.
Fairy.
The
With
Tooth Fairy.
That was a
The
football
Blind
movie, I think,
Side. Probably
The Blind
not.
Side.
In as we see the real story untold, I don't know if that would be as
What about Forrest
electric
Gump?
in real life.
But watching
We-
Forrest
There you
run,
go.
We could
run
count
through
that.
this. Yeah, into
Watch him
the,
run straight through the stadium and out.
yeah,
That
like
would've been
imagine if
fun.
you were one of the people holding up the Run Forrest Run
Stop.
thing. Yeah, the stop. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's awesome.
That'd be fun.
What are? Yeah, some other ones I'm trying to think.
42 with Jackie Robinson being there for that
That
would have
would be
been
cool.
pretty awesome.
Who's
Cars.
your? Is Cars a sports
Cars
movie?
2.
Cars
Well,
too.
it's
Yeah,
racing
let's
is
not
kind of a
choose that
sport,
one.
right?
I mean, in that case, are we counting Kingpin? I mean,
Sure. The Longest Yard. Awesome Adam Sandler movie. Secretariat. I mean, we could have actually lived that one.
Seabiscuit.
Yep.
yeah.
Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky
There you
Bobby.
go.
I
Talladega
mean,
When he
Nights would
gets
probably be
out
the
of the
answer,
car
actually.
and he's on fire,
Yeah.
he thinks he's on fire. Yeah.
Or
Come
watching
on
them,
now.
run to the finish line from afar. That would be a good one.
Well, that was a
Sandlot,
really good
being
one.
Sandlot being a
great.
part of that would have been awesome. Yeah.
All right, Stephen, what's our next question? On a lighter note, what was the last thing you ate before going to bed last night? Oh, well, for me, I had the snack mix on my United Airlines flight from Newark, and it was pretty much my dinner, so it was fine. But yeah, I wish I had a more exciting answer. I hope you all do at least.
Free food tastes the best.
That's
That's
true.
it.
It was my second snack mix pack of the day.
There you go.
Zach, you go first.
Well, actually, Meredith and I celebrated our 3-year anniversary last night. So we went out we went downtown to Coeur d'Alema. One of our favorite spots there in downtown Lexington. Big fan of that spot. So we enjoyed our time down there for a while, and then we brought back some of the queso and chips from there, and that's what we ate. We snacked on that before we went to bed. So if you haven't been to Coeur d'Alema, definitely try it. It's awesome.
Did Mary get her margarita?
Absolutely. That's all
There we
she
go.
got. Yeah.
Disappointed if she
She got a
didn't.
strawberry kiwi margarita slush. That was their special today. And it was good, actually.
Ooh, that sounds
Yeah,
Very
terrific.
good.
I partook in one myself. So
Nice.
I had 2 apples before bed. I am currently in an intermittent
Time,
fasting kind of
yeah,
era
good for you.
where it's not fun. I'm really
Yeah.
not enjoying this at all.
Are you
but
doing the 8, 16? What are your hours?
It's
So-
it's kind of technically like a 24-hour only dinner right now. So
Oh, man.
it's a lot. It's tough. So yes, my dessert
Yeah.
last night was two apples before my 8 p.m. cutoff right now is where I am. So
natural sugars.
so yes, I have not eaten anything yet today. Up until actually these beers going down
Zach's
a little.
feeling
They're a little stronger than usual. So if I said anything stupid more than usual, then
More than
there's a
last
reason.
week.
There's a reason for it because I
Blame
am
it on
on
the country boy.
physically an empty stomach. I literally have nothing in there right now. So
Well, intermittent fasting is fun. I don't know if I call it fun, but it is a good kickstart. You kind of get, I don't want to say immediate results, but your system is like, what the heck are you doing? And it
It's-
kind of jolts it.
it's fun. It does. It kind of lead to whoa. Your body just tells you
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing right now. I don't know if I like it. Do I like it? Do I hate it? But
Yeah.
let's keep trying it. So yeah, that's where we are right now.
You all should not do advertisements for intermittent fasting.
It's fun. You can drink
It's
on it, even though
fun-ish,
you're not supposed
kinda.
to. All right. What's our
I've had
next
2
question?
apples today, but it's awesome.
Next question. If you could add one song to play at the Kentucky football games, what would it be? This has been a hot topic. Something from this decade, maybe? I mean, come on. I'm not the the most current and up on music, but there's got to be something that they can improve. No more
Grilled
Limp
by
Bizkit.
Nelly.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I could sing the whole song, buddy.
That's
Bring
an
me out
inside joke for the KSR crew.
Yeah.
I'll
That's
share
a Nashville
because
joke.
that's kind of what we do here on the Happy Hour. We just goof off and do dumb stuff.
Yeah.
When we were down at the SEC tournament, Zach's very first SEC tournament, we went around to every single bar in Nashville and requested Grills by Nelly. Why? I don't know. Zach had some obsession
wanted to
with
see who would sing
Grills by Nelly, and the reaction that we got from them. And sometimes some bars, he asked
did
multiple
it.
times. But you ask multiple times at some places, and they're like,
Yeah.
all right, dude, bug off. Like, get away from me.
Stop
But
asking for this song.
But you just you and your Grills obsession. So in Zack Geoghegan's honor, I want to hear Grills at Kroger Field.
Right, the electric.
I like that. So I haven't, Nick's obviously not on here. I did see the one of the headlines tweets I saw this week was he wants Kroger Field to play like, you all will have to explain this to me. A bunch of cats
He wants
meowing.
cats in the stadium.
Meow,
Yeah.
meow, meow, meow,
Yeah.
meow, meow,
Yeah, I was gonna say, so
meow,
does he
mix.
want the Meow Mix song? Like, or does he want like literal actual cats in the stadium? Like,
Just thousands of meows just
yeah.
raining down from the top
Just
of the stadium.
unleash the beasts and just see what happens. Just
My,
Bring your
my idea was
cats.
to just let the cats loose at halftime in
Yeah.
the middle of the
Yes.
field and just kind of see where they end up, you know? Like by the end of the game,
God.
like maybe one's catching a touchdown, the other one's grabbing a beer, you know, right next to a Jalen Farmer's brother at the hot dog line.
Oh my God. That would be something. So we're gonna have to get Nick on here to explain that. I mean, it would certainly catch people off guard. But all right, what's up next, Steven? If NIL was around forever, who would be the top 5 Kentucky players who would have made the most NIL? And you can also give an educated guess on how much they would have made. Man, I feel like this has been a kind of popular question. I feel like with Kentucky basketball and probably therefore Kentucky basketball and football, John Wall immediately comes to
Easy
mind.
one. Rex.
Yeah. Rex would be huge.
Rex would
hot
have made
take.
a bunch of money.
Anthony Davis would make more money than John Wall because he had an actual like selling point with his NIL, with his unibrow. He like think of all of the
well, imagine
like,
the shirts that would have been made like this for John Wall.
but man,
Yeah.
that unibrow you could put on.
Look, you could
I
do
mean,
Call
you-
Me.
Yeah.
He could do like
opportunities are endless for
ads
it.
with phone companies, do Call
Yeah.
Me.
Anthony Davis could sign with like a, I don't know, an eyebrow company. Do they?
But
it's an
only if
eyebrow
he
company.
kept it. Only if he kept it, like an eyebrow.
He still has
threading
it.
or like-
He
Yeah,
still has
but
it
like,
right now. It's not
I
as
guess like
prominent.
perfect it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be fun.
He has styled it right now. Like
He's styled
it looks professionally done.
Jared would have been great
just
on the
about to say
football
Jared
side.
Williams.
Jared would make a ton of money with NIL.
Yeah. Tim
I'm trying to think
Couch,
of another football player.
that would have
Yeah.
been huge.
Mostly local guys. I feel
Benny
like.
Benny Snell would have made a ton of money.
Benny.
Yeah.
Benny
Benny would
Because he had the
would have been
person, he
great.
had that spunky personality that I think would fans would eat up with their wallets.
Well, if Benny was on this team, we'd have no idea that he was even a personality. So
Who's a Benny Snell?
yeah,
Speaking of NIL, I saw that Trent Noah is doing another NIL deal with a local company, like Thoroughbred Car Wash or something. Shout out to Trent Noah because he's like really going after those local NIL deals. I know he has one with a gas
Smart.
station. Yeah, it's really smart. Like I think that's great. So props to him. Let's see, we got some suggestions. Well, Richmond made it. Congrats, Richmond, making it to happy hour, even though we're almost about to wrap up.
We're almost done with our second beer, bud.
I know.
Catch
Catch up. You got to catch up. I'm sure he'd have a lot of creative ideas. I feel like De'Aaron Fox would be good with NIL.
Yeah.
Maybe not designing shoes though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't even on the topic list, but yeah, I saw the shoes that he came out with, and I don't know. I'm not a sneakerhead, so I can't
It's the
really
strap.
judge him.
the black
Yeah.
strap kind of.
They just look fake. It looks like something you would order on Temu or something. You know,
Yeah.
like
It looks
you
like a
type
seventh grade
in
bully
you
shoe.
type in Kentucky basketball shoe, and it's what Temu would AI spit out at you. You know,
Blue and black is not a great combo.
I do like. Yeah,
think.
if he made it blue and white, it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
It'd have been
And
awesome.
it's like the
But
blue
I do like that it's-
speckled. Yeah.
Yeah, it's named Lexington though. Like it's cool. You know, it's his I think third official signature shoe. Like he did
Good for
the
him.
Fox 1, the Fox 2, and then this is like the first colorway I think that he's actually released for the Fox 2. So
Gotcha. Well,
And it's kind of affordable.
somebody will
$120
buy.
for a basketball shoe nowadays is relatively affordable.
Well,
So
no offense to De'Aaron, but it kind of looks like it's affordable. So,
yeah,
I mean,
you knew what he was doing.
let's be real.
That marketing team was like, yeah, maybe lower it down from 150 to 120, buddy.
Whatever, BBN will buy it. The one thing I know about BBN, they will buy it. Richmond is currently running to his basement fridge to get a key lime cougar bait. Nice call. He said he needs to stock up when he comes to Lexington this weekend. I need to stock up too. We're going to the lake, I think, this weekend. I'm going to Bowling Green. I'm stocking up. I will be ready to roll for the rest of football season. Do we have any more questions, Stephen, or is that it? I think there may have been one or two more. Okay, we got two from Derek. One, basketball. Will Kentucky make one Final Four in the next 3 seasons? And for football, will Kentucky make the playoffs at least once in the next 10 seasons? Ugh, I feel like
yes, for sure.
Well, I feel like
Both.
I need to know more variables for the football one.
You know, like those variables. It's John Summerall leading. It's John Summerall leading the program to glory with a 16-team college football playoff. Absolutely, Kentucky gets to a basketball Final Four. Maybe one Final Four in the next 1 year, first of all, but
I would love that. Soon,
definitely we're in the ballpark for sure. And then the football one, that's definitely it. It ain't happening under Stoops. Sorry.
But the timeline of that is tricky because he's got a $38 million buyout. John Summerall's already kind of a hot commodity. Is the timing going to work out perfectly so that if the Summerall were to come to Kentucky, that the door would open at the right time? Like, I don't know.
Summerall's a couple more big wins away from being in a different tier of.
Yeah, stay away, coaches. Alabama. Stay away, Florida. He's ours. Maybe, hopefully. We'll see.
I think that basketball one is more of a necessity.
Yeah.
Than the football one. Like if Pope doesn't get to a Final Four in the next 3 years, I do think the fan base, they will get up in arms a little bit over that. So I think that one's more of a requirement as opposed to that second one, which is more of a dream.
Well, we hope the answer. Yeah, we hope the answer to both is yes. Obviously, that would be fantastic. All right, I think we have one more, Stephen, or is that it? Let's see.
That's it.
Okay, cool. All right, well, that's it, and we just hit over an hour. So, and it looks like Zach just finished his beer. So, Jack, have you finished your second beer? There we go. That means it's a wrap. And soon maybe you can eat food. Yay.
I need it.
Enjoy that apple, buddy.
My eyes are starting to kind of do that thing.
Yeah, you're getting blurry. All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap for this week. Next week, Drew, I believe, will be back. We'll get Nick on to explain his meowing cats thing. It's the bye week, so I'm sure we'll find ways to get even more off the rails. But until then, shout out to Country Boys. Shout out to the KSR YouTube channel and you all for subscribing. Get us up to, looks like we're at 50.9 thousand subscribers. Let's get to 60 for next week. And until then, see you later. Cheers.